Still, when your keeper has to make 9 saves like he did, it's because defensively at times you've been struggling. Otherwise, if you protect your goal so well, then you don't concede so many chances.
Ancelotti said this after the game about how, their priority was we wanted to take away what in Italy we call the vertical play, right?
Yeah.
The ball to, not so much the ball over the top and then they run onto it,
No,
but more like Thiago Alcantara gets the ball and he hits like does that blind pass, like the one he hit on the last day of the season.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the striker is behind your defenders. And he said that, throughout the game, Militao, Alaba, and Mendy were phenomenal at that. In fact, I think the Salah chance was the only time that they were able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But Klopp said he wished that the team had played more through them instead of around them like Liverpool did or did for 90 minutes, apart from one or two
He said he wished
occasions.
that. So why did that not happen? Because sometimes...
Thiago Alcantara wasn't fit. I think it's as simple as that. And we go back again on what happened before the game in warm-up. You and I were not sat to each other, but I saw it pretty quickly. He was struggling in the warm-up. He ended up stopping the warm-up with the other 9 outfield
For those who
players.
don't know, and you want to explain this, for those who don't, even if you go to Anfield regularly, you might not see this because you might not be in your seat that early. What happens is the players come out for a longish 10, 15-minute warm-up before. And they do, the goalkeepers first, usually, then the players, and they do different drills. And different teams do it different way. The way Liverpool does is the first 11 kind of warm up together, and then you have the reserves warming up together.
Yeah.
What we saw, what you were describing there is Thiago leaves the 11 starters.
Exactly.
Goes to warm up with the reserves, and Keita joins the 11 starters.
Exactly.
And you also have Klopp talking to
3 times to
Keita.
Thiago. To Thiago first, in the tunnel. I think Thiago even looked like he was going back to the dressing room. I think Klopp said to him, try again, try a bit more. So then Thiago is on his own with an assistant coach, just hitting the ball, running a bit. You see him doing stretches. Then Klopp comes back out. They have another shot. And this is all when we thought the game was kicking off at 9 p.m. French time. And you can see Thiago like clearly the body language was like, okay, I'm not starting now. And then Klopp goes and see Keita to tell him you're starting. Thiago goes to see Keita and saying you can see him putting his arm around him. Yeah. And then off they go, right? Then the game is delayed. And then when they come back for a second little warm-up, Thiago is back with the starters. So that delay clearly enabled him to start. But still, it was pretty obvious from quite early on that he was not himself. And there was a problem. He might have been 80% fit. I don't know. He didn't want to risk it, or maybe he could not do more. But I think what you lose by him not being fit is that verticality that you mentioned, and is the fact that then you could not play or try to play through Real Madrid. You had to play around, which is what they wanted, what they were waiting for, and what they were ready for.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'd like you to explain it since you played football at a higher level than I did, and most listeners probably did. If he's not fit with a muscular problem, why take away? I can understand how it would take away his acceleration, his movement. Why does it take away his ability to be creative, receive the ball, and hit those through balls that he does?
I think he has to play deeper. So instead of playing higher up the pitch between the lines and trying to find those little pocket of spaces like English people love to say, because then when you lose the ball, he would have had to make up the extra 15 yards to try to go back or do the counter press wherever it was. Whereas if you stay a bit deeper, then he obviously doesn't have to make that extra effort, which physically can cost him with the calf injury. So I think.
So again, hindsight being 2020, was this a game where maybe you could have made an adjustment and maybe sacrificed the high press a little bit the way they did, so that he can sit a little bit deeper? Because you're still going to win the ball back, you're still going to press effectively. Might that have been something? Try to suck Real Madrid forward a little bit. I mean, again, hindsight 2020, right?
Let them have a bit more of the ball, make your block a bit more median than so high. Maybe that would have helped. I don't even think he could counter press like he usually does, which I think then you lose a lot of Thiago's ability to help your team, and I don't know how the extra 30. Well, it was more than 36 minutes because they went back into the dressing room at 20-9. And then obviously kickoff was 9:36. So let's say 45 minutes for the sake of it in that dressing room where they would have done more treatment on him. They would have maybe,
And
I don't know
they
what
came
they
out
did.
to warm up again as well for a second
Yeah,
warm up.
but how, I don't understand how they went from you can't start, it's too risky, or, you know, it's not helping, to, okay, you can go, we give you the green light, you go. And again, for your narrative earlier, what happens if Keita starts? If the midfield is Fabinho, Keita, fully fit Keita and Henderson, and Thiago comes on for the last half hour or something like that, is the game different?
Yeah. All right. Well, we just go through all this, not just a second guess and say
No, I don't.
this, but because people have to make real decisions in real time.
It's tricky. It's so good. It's so important for them. It's tricky.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.